Hi everybody, welcome to another Gentle Yoga Flow with Dana as part of the JCC online program. And I want to just take a moment, wish everybody a happy and healthy new year. And just to express my appreciation and gratitude that all of you tune in and follow these Gentle Yoga flows. So today we will be staying mostly on the mat, not too many standing poses, no standing poses. So we'll be down on the mat for the whole session. And if you have a block or a book or a blanket, something for support, that's going to be handy. And other than that, today's flow, fairly restorative based, not too much hard work, really just sort of a nice opening of the body across the whole part of the body. So hope you enjoy it, and we'll get started with just our typical seated meditation. So find a comfortable seated position. I'm seated up on a block. Maybe you have a pillow or something you can sit on. Always helps to have the knees lower than the hips. Just kind of makes sitting a little bit easier. So come to a comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe rock back and forth and feel those sitting bones at the bottom of your pelvis. Kind of feel how they give you support. Feel them touching either the floor, block, or pillow, whatever it is. And then sit up nice and tall. Lengthen the spine. Close the eyes. And transition here from not breathing in any conscious way to a very directed conscious breath, where your inhale lifts you up, and the exhale, you maintain as much lift as you got on that inhale. So you're trying to maintain length, maintain a straight back as we sit for a few minutes, breathing and following our breath and checking in just to see where we are today. So each inhale, you're going to breathe in through your nose, lifting up all the way from the belly button, all the way through the crown of the head. Each exhale, you're going to press down as you exhale. Press down with those sitting bones and lift up a little bit higher. And in this breathing, you're looking to really develop a steady, even breath where your inhales and exhales are the same length, where the inhale is leading you on the length of that breath. So you're going to take an inhale, maybe count to 3 or 4 or 5, whatever feels right for you. And then exhale, count the same as you did on the inhale. And just sit for a couple minutes here as we breathe. We allow ourselves a little bit of time to transition from where we were prior to sitting down and starting our yoga practice into a focused and attentive yoga practice. So we try and really take the first few minutes to really make that conscious transition from wherever we were to this carved out time that you've done. You've taken the time, you've allocated it to do this practice, so really allow yourself to fully embrace it, letting go of whatever the outside stuff is that's there. It'll be there later, so let that go for an hour or so. Keep breathing in and out. And then bring your palms together at your heart center. Continuing the breath. And as you're breathing, take a moment to bring an intention intention to your practice today. Whatever that might be, it might be just to get through an hour of yoga, it might be to do something later or call someone, or really does not matter. Just find something that meaningful to you, that you find useful to concentrate, focus on, bring some awareness to. Take a couple more breaths here. And then lower your hands back to your thighs. Take another long, big inhale. And let it all out. Do that one more time. Let it all out. And then gently open your eyes. And release. So we're going to start on our hands and knees. So move whatever you were using, block, whatever, off to the side. Come onto your hands and knees. And if you need something to cushion your knees, that's fine. Maybe another mat, blanket, whatever. And come to a position where your shoulder is over your wrist, hips over your knees. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Crown of the head is pointing forward. And then take an inhale here and press your chest down and through the gateway of your arms. You're going to find some rotation around your arms. So actually, before we start the cat-cow sequence, let's just focus on the arms for a moment. Notice the elbows can rotate around like this, right? And so while we're in this pose, we really want to be focusing on rotating the arms clockwise. The right arm rotates clockwise, left arm rotates counterclockwise. Really trying to spin the bicep, this muscle right up here, forward. So we rotate the arms. And then when we take our inhale, we rotate those arms, we press our chest down and through the gateway of those arms. Lifting the chin, lifting the head, going into cow. And then when we exhale, we press up through the back body, really pressing with the hands, lowering the head. And then inhale again, coming back into cow, pressing the chest through the arms, lifting the head. Exhaling back, the back body into cat pose. Pressing the back body up towards the ceiling. And again, inhale, spin the arms into cow. Exhale, press back into cat. 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, back to cat. And then return to a flat back. And then from here, reach the right leg straight back behind you. Let the hips become even. And then reach with the left hand forward into bird pose. Bird dog here. Reaching with the left hand, pressing with the right foot back. Reaching with the left fingers. Steady breath. Nice and still as you can be. Last breath here. Inhale. This time when you exhale, I want you to bring your elbow and your knee towards each other, staying as still as you can, keeping the back flat. Touch the knee and the elbow if you can. Extend the arm back out straight, leg back, and then bring the hand back to the mat and bring the knee back to the mat. Take a moment, maybe shake the hands a little bit. It's a little intense. And then we'll do the other side. So this time we reach our left leg straight back. Find a nice steady pose, find a nice flat back. And then reach with the right hand. And again, try to find some stillness here. Reaching with the right hand forward, pressing with the foot back. Finding some stillness. Breathing nice and steady. One more breath. And then again, bring the knee and the elbow in towards each other, maybe touching if you can. Reach back out. Bring the right hand to the mat. Bring the left knee back into hands and knees. Again, shake out the left wrist a little bit. And then come back to all fours. Okay, now, this time we're going to do a side opening. So we are in our hands and knees pose, shoulders over wrists, hips over the knees. This time we're going to inhale, opening to the right. So we rotate to the right, open, open, bring the arm up as high as you can. And then exhale, bringing the right arm behind the left, reaching through, not coming down to the mat, reaching with the right fingertips. And then coming back, inhaling back up. And exhale back through. Inhale up. Exhale through. Inhale up. Exhale. Last one. Inhale up. And this time as you exhale, come through, bring the right arm behind the left. Come down to the mat. You're going to walk your left arm forward a little bit, reaching with the right arm across, bringing the side of the head, right head down to the mat. So when you're in this pose, the side of the head is on the mat. You're holding yourself up with your left hand. Breathe nice and steady. To come out of this pose, walk the left hand back in a little bit, press up. Bring the right arm, hand back. Come back to your hands and knees pose. And then we'll do the other side. So this time we inhale to the left. Exhale, bringing the left hand behind the right, reaching through, twisting a little bit. Inhale up. Exhale through. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale through. Bring the left arm through. Come on down to the mat. Walk that right hand out a little bit and bring the side of the left head to the mat. Take a few rounds of breath here. Last one. To come out, you're going to walk the right hand in a little bit, press up, and come back to all fours. Hands and knees. And then spread your knees as wide as the mat, maybe toes together. Bring your hips back. We're going to come into child's pose. And, for some of you, child's pose, can look like this. It could look like this. Maybe you want your head up a little bit higher, so you could bring your forehead to a block or a pillow, blanket, whatever height feels like it's going to work for you best. The key here is if you're in child's pose and your head is here and your hips are way up, right? It's better to have your hips back and bring your head to something so that bringing your head down doesn't lift the hips. So whatever's comfortable for you. Take a few rounds of breath here, nice and steady. And then you're going to come out, move this block if you're using it or whatever, and then you're going to walk your hands out and lift your hips up a bit and walk your hands out even more. So you're in this position. So your hips are up, arms are extended like they would be in down dog. So you want to rotate those arms, biceps up, forward, and then from here, you're going to press your hips back towards your feet, but they won't go, your hips can't go all the way, most likely. So you're just pressing here, pressing the hips back and pressing the chest down towards the mat. Any amount. A few rounds of breath. Last breath. And then to come out, just bring your body forward. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So bring your forearms onto the mat. Feet are pointing, toes are pointing back. Your elbows are ahead of your shoulder a little bit. Fingers are spread. Arms are parallel. So if your elbows are splayed out like that, see if you can walk them in a little bit. And then see if you can use your arms, your forearms, to press into the mat. Lift the shoulders up. And let your gaze go where it's going to land, essentially keeping your head in line with your spine. So don't drop the head, don't lift the chin. Keep this head nice and aligned in a straight line with your spine. Letting the gaze will probably end up, in front of your mat somewhere. And breathe. And really soften the legs, soften the belly. Put all the effort in the arms. And then if you want, you can let your head drop. Let the head, let the neck go soft, but keep the arms strong. Keep pressing with the arms. So head is dropping, arms are lifting. Arms are pressing into the mat, so the shoulder really giving a lift to the body. And then gently lower down, bringing your forehead to your hands and just resting for a moment. And then come on back up. Interlace your fingers. Bring your forearms to the mat. We're going to do a forearm plank. So have your elbows walked in, your toes are curled under, and you can press up from here. Alternatively, you can get into this position with your knees like this, and your hands, you still having your hands interlaced, forearms on the mat. It might be easier to step back into the forearm plank rather than pressing up into it. Either way, come into the plank. Reach with the crown of the head forward. Press the heels back. Nice flat body. You take about 10 breaths here. So you may find that you need to come out of this pose in and out a couple times. That's fine. If you can stay the whole time, that's great. If you need to come in and out, that's great too. There's no judgment, there's no good or bad, it's just whatever your body's going to do. Halfway through, nice and steady breathing. One more breath. And then lower the knees, point the toes, and bring your forehead to the mat. Bring your hands back by your sides, palms face down. And then slide your hands up towards your hips, bending your elbows. So you're going to bend your elbows, come up onto your fingertips. So from here, take a big inhale, lift the head, chest, and shoulders. Squeeze these elbows together and lift the front body. So we do the forearm plank is really good for the front body. Cobra is a really good exercise for the back body. So we're looking to strengthen both sides of the body. And lower down. Stay in this position. We're going to do it one more time. Again, inhale, lift the head, chest, and shoulders. Squeeze the elbows. Press the feet into the mat to give yourself a little more leverage. And then lower down. Bring your hands to your forehead. And then bring the head all the way to the mat. Bring your hands by your low ribs. And then inhale, press all the way up to upward dog. And then come back to down dog. So it's our first down dog of the day. Not doing too many today, but sort of walk it out. Feel how you feel in down dog. So bend the knees, press with the hands, press the hips up and back, keeping the knees bent a little bit. And then you can really maybe press with the heels a little bit towards the floor, but really don't worry about straightening the knees. Focus on pressing with the hands and lifting the hips up and back, and then pressing the heels down. And then inhale the right leg up and step all the way through, coming into a low lunge. Nice and steady breathing here. And just lean forward a little bit, uncurl those toes. Come back to your low lunge with the toes pointing straight back. And then inhale the arms up. Maybe let the gaze go up between the hands. If you feel unstable, then don't bring the gaze up. Keep the gaze straight ahead. Maybe press the palms together. Maybe not. Listen to your body. Listen to what feels right. And then bring the hands all the way down to the mat. Curl the back toes. Press back to down dog. Inhale the left leg up and back. And step it through. Coming into low lunge on the other side. Back toes curl under, hands to your heart center. Couple rounds of breath here. Lean forward, uncurl the toes, point the toes. Come back to center. Inhale the arms up. Keep the breath nice and steady. Maybe let the gaze go between the hands if that feels okay. Nothing wrong with not doing that. Press the palms together, same thing. If it feels a little bit out of your comfort zone and you're not feeling stable, don't do this. Listen to your body, listen to what feels right. Bring your hands back to your heart center. Bring your hands to the mat, curl the back toes, and back to down dog. Now, inhale the right leg up. And as you exhale, you're going to bring the knee forward towards your chin. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale up. Open up to three-legged dog. Letting the right leg drop back behind the left side a little bit. And then lower the right foot. And then press the left leg up and back. And again, knee to chin. Inhale up. Knee to left elbow. Inhale up. Knee to right elbow. Inhale up. Three-legged dog. Lower the left leg back down. And then lower the knees. And grab a block, or blanket, or cushion, whatever, for some support here. And I'm going to bring the right knee up towards the right wrist. Bring the right foot across your body. So we're going to do a half pigeon pose. Walk this back leg back. I'm going to start with our hands up, hands pressing into the mat. I'm going to bring a block over, and you can use a block, a blanket, book, pillow, whatever. The goal here is, if I don't have a support here and I try and let my hip go, I'm going to fall over to the right side. So I want to keep my low back as flat and even as I can. So I bring this support over to my hip, into my outer leg, so that this low back feels stable and flat. I'm not going to fall over. And then I can, maybe I just stay like this. Maybe I can come down to my elbows. Maybe I find as I'm in this pose, I might get a little more space and room as the muscles stretch. I can slide this block a little bit farther out, give myself a little more room to expand, and again, come back in. So I can bring my hands, my forehead to my hands. Some of you might be able to have your head all the way to the mat. That doesn't quite work for me. Really depends, but we're just going to stay here for several rounds of breath here. Nice and steady. If you have another blanket, another block, another book, whatever, you can use it here. You can put your forehead on it. Lots of different ways to adjust. So you have your body, you know what your body can do. Listen to it, pay attention. Give it what it needs. Give it what it wants. So I notice as I'm in this pose, I feel like I got a little more room, so I'm going to slide this block yet another ½ inch or so. Feels good as I give it a little more room to stretch and expand. come out of this pose, I'm going to start by bringing my hands back, spreading the fingers wide, lifting the head, chest, and shoulders, pressing up a bit, finding some opening through the front body. And then bringing the hands fully to the mat. Curl the back toes, press back to down dog. Oh yeah, down dog. Back in there. And then I'm going to slide this block to the other side. And you can come into this pose from down dog by bringing this knee forward towards your left wrist and bringing the foot across. You can also do it by coming down to all fours and again, bringing that knee to the left wrist and the foot across. So whatever transition works for you. Again, having a support for the outer left hip this time. And again, I'm going to give myself some nice support initially, make it nice and easy to sort of start. Sometimes this pose can be very intense for people. So my back toes are pointing straight back. I feel like my back is fairly flat here. As I come down, I'm going to bring my head to my hands. I'm going to breathe nice and steady. And as I'm in this pose, I'm feeling some opening. You know, maybe I can slide this block just a little bit, giving myself a little more room, a little more space to expand. And these adjustments, even if they're just a ½ inch, can feel pretty significant. So don't worry about how much. Really pay attention to the sensation that you're feeling. Right? And notice how that sensation, there's a sensation of just, some stretching. There's also a sensation that could be pain. You don't want to go into the pain area. So it's okay to feel a little stretch, a little sensation there. You're stretching, you're asking the muscle to work, so that's okay. But please listen and pay attention to what your body is doing. Don't press it into things that it's really telling you it doesn't want to do. That is the yoga, is listening and paying attention and doing what's right for you, not what's right for someone else. Okay, now we're going to come out of this pose. We're going to bring our hands back. And like we did last time, we can press into the mat, lift the back, lift the shoulders, a little bit of a frontal opening as well. And then fully plant the hands. Curl the back toes. Press back to down dog. Move this block out of the way, or whatever you have for support. And then we're going to take 5 nice long breaths here in down dog. Really spreading the fingers. Pressing with the hands to lift the hips up and back, soften the knees, press the heels down. One more breath. And then lower the knees. And I'm going to come onto your belly all the way down. Bring your arms out to your sides with your elbows bent. Turn your head to the right and bring the right knee up towards the right elbow. Let the breath be nice and steady. head to the center. Turn the head to the left. Bring the left knee up towards the left elbow. And again, allowing the breath to be nice and steady and even. Take one more breath here. And then come back, extend the leg back out straight, bring the head back to center, and just press up. And come onto your back. Now lie down with your knees bent. Have a block or whatever you're using for support handy. Cross your left knee over your right. Walk that right foot in a bit, as close to your butt as you can. Lift your hips up, swing the hips a little bit to the left as your knees come down to the right. So you want to keep your shoulders on the mat. So if I don't use a block here, my knees come down to the mat. They're going to come down, right? But my left shoulder is going to come up off the mat, and I don't want that. I want to maintain the twist that I'm getting. So I'm going to bring this block and use it as a support, so that when I feel that my left shoulder is coming off the mat, I can put this block right here, and it stops my shoulder from going anywhere because my block, it's supporting this. I can extend my arms out straight, palms up, and I can breathe. I can relax into the pose. The block is supporting me. There's no stress anywhere. So I feel supported, comfortable. My gaze is going to go out over my left fingertip. So there's a little bit of a twist as you turn your neck to gaze out towards the left. Let the breath be nice and steady and even. And just like we did in pigeon, I can adjust this a little bit as my body gets used to the pose and finds a little opening. I can find that, I can get a lot more room. So I keep adjusting incrementally. Let the breath be steady and even. And then to come out of this pose, start by bringing your head back to center. Then bring your knees back to center, bring the hips back to center. Uncross the legs. Move your support to the other side. Cross the right over the left. Lift the hips, swing the hips a little bit to the right as the knees fall to the left. And again, find the spot you need support. Make sure the shoulders stay on the ground. Arms are spread wide, palms up. And let the gaze go out over your right fingertips. And again, letting the breath be nice and steady and long. And again, here you may notice that as you're in this pose, you can give yourself a little more room for the knees to go as this outer hip area expands and stretches a bit. You'll notice you can give yourself a little more room. Gaze is out over the right fingers. One more breath. And then to come out of the pose, start by bringing your head back to center. Bring the hips back to center. Uncross the legs. And then move your support out of the way for Shavasana. So extend your legs out straight. Arms by your side, palms up. And start by letting go of that steady breath we've been maintaining throughout the practice. In fact, you really want to let go of even any consciousness of your breath. So as we head into Shavasana, we want to let the body know that you're not expecting anything of it at this point other than to be still, to be quiet, to let the body rest and recover for a few minutes after practice. So you want to really give the body and mind a chance to completely relax. So let Shavasana be the pose that you're completely absorbed by. There's no effort, there's no work. Stillness and quiet and peace in Shavasana. some movement back into the body, moving the fingers and toes. Keeping your eyes closed, moving at your own pace. Bend your knees and roll onto your right side. Pausing there for just a moment or two as we allow our bodies to come out of our Shavasana slowly and gently. And then keeping your eyes closed, make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and tall, nice straight spine. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Acknowledge the intention that you started the practice with today. Bring love and gratitude into your heart. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today for this Gentle Yoga Flow. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again in a couple weeks. Be well, and we'll see you then. Thank you.